Parties Podcast, WATP.
I'm not sure what the point of this is. I really don't understand why.
That was the biggest question. You know what? You don't need to do this, Bill. Nobody's asked for this.
No one's asking for this. No one wants to watch Bill Maher, who famously never had kids, never wanted to have kids, and now he's sitting down with children for an interview. And he's got, there's 6 children total, and they have 3 sets of 2, starting off with a 16-year-old boy and an 8-year-old girl. And the
video helps. Otherwise, you think he's talking to a Pageria kid.
Right. This is how this one starts off, and immediately Bill Maher is wildly inappropriate with an 8-year-old girl.
I have a sister. She's the oldest of my sibling.
How old is she?
I'm the youngest of she's 19.
So 19, 16, and 8. I always was curious about families like that where the kids are like very far apart. It was like, honey, there's that thing we used to do. What was it? It was in bed. And then but it's always good to be like the baby of the family because she gets.
Yeah, I have a little cousin. He's 4.
What the fuck was that?
Thank God it went over her head.
Well, Bill, I think, caught himself being like, well, I'm not going to get a laugh out of these people talking about their parents fucking.
Duh.
It's so uncomfortable.
I told you this was going to be Christmas Day.
Yeah, it's
this
crazy.
Is why I did not.
Did not disappoint.
Fortunately or unfortunately, he's only ever crossing the sexual lines on this, though. He's never blowing smoke in these kids' face like I had hoped. He doesn't offer any of them a drink.
That's true. He does drink tequila while he's talking to them.
He's in his hand. Every introduction, he walks in, he says the same thing. You can't get good help these days. And then he has this big bottle of tequila in his hand. It's very strange.
He's pissed at whoever did the booking for this show because they get all the names wrong and the ages wrong. And so Bill comes in and he's just like, you're supposed to be 2 8-year-olds? How old are you? He's like 16. I'm like, geez, he's all pissed off about everything. But I like this because Bill talks to an 8-year-old like he would talk to you or me. Mm-hmm. He just shuts her down when she thinks she's telling an interesting story.
And literally every time he comes over, sometimes he thinks of random ideas. Literally, he was hiding under my grandma's bed.
So he's hiding under the bed?
Yes.
Yeah, that's not that interesting. Right?
That's really funny. Why did you even tell me that? I don't give a shit about that. She's like, yeah, you're right. That was stupid. I'm just nervous. First time on a podcast, Bill. Maybe you could riff with me a little bit.
Right.
Help me out.
Oh, it's tough love.
This is a fun question. He says, what do you kids do for kicks? You know, he's using slang from the 60s.
He says front a few times. It's very strange. He went through an Urban Dictionary before starting this recording or something. And by the end, too, you could tell this was a long day for him. He's really getting tired by the third interview.
Yes, I think you're right about that. Although I'm not sure that he actually recorded it in the same order that it's out because this girl was the most charismatic of all the children. And so this was front loaded and it's mostly talking to her and about her. Let's find out what she does for kicks.
It wasn't cut short.
Right.
So what do you do for danger?
For danger?
Yeah, for kicks.
For kicks? Like what?
Well, I don't know. You tell me. You're the kid. I'm asking questions. That's what I want to know. Like, what do you, like when I was your age, what I did for kicks was, what's that?
Phone.
The phone?
What's that?
Yeah, I'm sure.
She was talking about Roblox.
Right.
Yeah, I was going to ask you if you should download it.
No, you shouldn't even have a phone.
I got one when I was 3.
3?
Yes,
That was my reaction in my head because I couldn't say that out loud.
3? That's just so wrong. I mean, 3. And what do you do on your phone?
I play Roblox, Minecraft, and I have it on my own YouTube channel. And I also have an Instagram account and a TikTok account.
Someone's got to teach this woman how to plug a show, though. No, but what's your YouTube channel?
Right. Yes, that's a good point. She's just bragging that she has a YouTube channel. So do I, sweetheart. It's not that hard.
Bill never made the same, with the Haktua girl. He said, you should have that on my network. He never offered this woman a channel,
Well,
a
we
show
don't
on his
know,
network.
maybe behind the scenes, maybe Haktua embarrassed him by turning it down, and so now he's gotten a little bit more suave about it. So that is interesting that this 8-year-old girl is like, what do you do for fun? She's on her phone on TikTok. I mean, the Chinese are taking over. It's really the level of parenting in this country. We're pretty much have just given up.
Yeah.
Just take our kids. It's fine.
I know I did.
We don't care. So then,
it's safer. When it comes to child actors and dangers, I think the phone is, a little light.
You think so?
Right. I would rather have an issue with a phone abuse rather than something else.
Okay. I don't know if that's true. I think social media is probably really bad for children's development, especially
So is being a
psychologically.
child actor. Well, this one
That's true.
specifically, she's being thrown into commercials. She's been doing shows. She's really in the ringer. That's their only time to escape is looking at that screen.
That's true. She is a huge star, as we're going to find
And the
out.
parents let her in this interview. They never pull her out. I think the other interview got cut short because it was getting so uncomfortable. The parents just let this ride. Point the finger there.
They're getting high in the other room.
I don't think parents were there because at a certain point she looks at the camera and says, "Mom, I need a blah, blah, blah." And he's like, "Well, you know how to look into the camera and everything?" Like she finds camera 4 somehow.
Oh, you figured out the safe word?
Periphery. It's pretty incredible.
And the cameras are in the wall in this room too. It takes a keen eye to find where they're looking.
Yeah, it's not like the Lawrence Welk show. There aren't guys on giant scaffolding zooming around. So Bill asks, what do you want to do when you grow up, little girl?
Okay, so what are you going to do when you grow up?
I'm gonna become a baker, still be an actress, and I might steal Ashley's job, and then
Steal Ashley's job. My Ashley?
yeah.
Yeah, she does the media here for this company. She does, puts out the clips and stuff. That is a great job to get into. And you seem to be very savvy since you had a phone in the womb. You laugh, but that's next. They're just going to implant a phone in there. So the kid, when they're born, they're just like with the phone.
When I was inside my mom's womb, I was always making great cheese and milk, and now I'm like sensitive to milk.
Good on her for connecting those dots, because I couldn't. If I would have just been like, probably not, Bill. I don't think they're going to. That would be very uncomfortable for the mom.
Well, good for her for keeping the show running.
Yeah,
Bill
I was
has
just
no
gonna
idea
say.
what he's supposed to do here.
Right. Like, what are you supposed to do with that? Like, oh, well, you had a phone when you were 3. What, are they going to start implanting those in pregnant women? No, they're not, Bill. My eyes aren't open yet, so it wouldn't make a lot of sense to
Bill's
even have
already a
that.
full-time baker.
I see what you did there. Well, here's a joke. So this girl very rudely interrupts the conversation, and Bill has an adult joke here.
Not that I have to tell you, made more entertaining movies. I mean, from the beginning. I mean, he became a star in the early 80s.
There's grass in my shoe.
There's what?
There's grass in my shoe right here.
Oh. Well, why don't you give that to me? I like grass.
I was gonna eat it.
Anyway,
He even does the look to the camera like, I'm making drug references, huh? Pretty wacky stuff. Let's talk about your parents fucking and me doing drugs.
Oh, you ended it before the most uncomfortable part, where he does look at the camera and he says, even in Bugs Bunny, they used to sneak one in for the adults in the room.
Right. Yeah, he was very proud of himself for that ad lib right there. So then he starts talking to him about Elvis, and he's like, you guys don't care about Elvis? He's like blown away by this. I don't know why that is.
so the life of Elvis doesn't interest you at all?
No, not really.
Okay.
I mean,
You know he was like a bad MF, right?
Elvis?
Yeah, Elvis Presley.
Yeah, I heard of him.
You heard of him.
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing?
I guess. What are we talking about, Bill? You know he's a bad motherfucker, right? That Elvis? Like, I guess. I don't know. How old is
Did
this
he
guy?
ride,
What are
he
you
ride
talking
a
about?
motorcycle?
Yeah, wow. He's a rebel. I don't know. I didn't know why he was going on and on about that. He's talking about his agent and how he took 25% or 30%, ripped Elvis off. Like, these kids are sitting there going, I mean, I would maybe 15, but 10% I think is still the standard, right? Bill?
Bill knew that he was going to talk to 6 kids before he walked in the room, right?
I assume so. Maybe they just sprung this on him. This is an April Fool's joke or something.
What a great prank.
Now, in every conversation, for some reason, he has to bring up trans. And so this conversation with these kids ends with this.
So, did you wear the same kind of clothes when you started out life as a boy? I assume you're both transitioned. I assume you were a boy as a child and you were a girl. I mean, that's...
What?
No?
What?
No? Oh, well, I thought everybody these days was transitioned. No, you actually was born?
Yeah, I was.
And you were born a girl?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right, fine. So whatever kink, whatever you're into, whatever weird
I have
stuff
no
you're
idea.
into is fine with me. Nothing weird about it.
I have no idea what you're talking about, so
Good joke.
Okay.
Yeah, Bill, you weirdo. Hey, did you transition yet? You're 8 years old. She's like, I don't know what you're talking about.
You're scaring her.
Yes, right. What's going on right here?
Should I?
Bill thinks this is hilarious content. And someone in the chat is asking how long until this girl's on WATP. I'm guessing she's going to be our next review girl.
Yeah.
It'd be my guess.
Yeah.
She could be sassy towards
She
me.
reminds me of when Vic was a little boy.
Those were the days. All right, so now let's get some other kids on the couch.
Perfect. I was a little nervous. I didn't know if you were going to clip when he called himself a cracker.
Oh, no. I didn't pull that part.
My mother was very uncomfortable with that scene.
Your mother was?
Yeah, we watched this together. I said, "Oh, she's a big fan of Bill Maher," and we watched this, and she said, "Bill, you can't say that."
It's wildly inappropriate. So he has these next kids on, and I mentioned, I don't know why he's doing this. It doesn't make any sense. He does actually explain why he's doing this.
But we're very happy to have you here because we're trying to sort of iron out the demographic problem that we have. I mean, the last two guests we had were Shatner and Norman Lear. So we want to get some young people. You remember Norman Lear? No, that was before your time. Do you still watch TV? Is TV still a thing?
Kind of.
Wow. Making Norman Lear references.
This guy needs a note card.
Well, he's like doing this not for his guests. He's like talking over their heads. You almost heard someone chuckling in the back of the room or something. Yeah. It's like, yeah, I mean, you can just talk about shit that kids won't know about, I guess. You could. That's what you want to do. But what this really comes down to is that Bill Maher has a TV show. He's had a TV show for, I think, 4 decades. And so he's just like, hey, kids, you know what TV is? Because he really wants it to be like, yeah, TV's awesome. Like, yeah, okay, cool. And he's upset that it's not all that relevant.
It's not, well, like for most kids our age, it's not that relevant. It's more like YouTube and TikTok.
Right. But
Yeah.
can't you watch YouTube on TV?
Yeah.
Good question.
Okay.
All right, so TV wins again. What do you mean, Bill? Okay.
He's like, boom!
Yeah, take that.
So it's in a way, it's just like a different TV channel.
Yeah.
I'm trying to make myself feel better because I'm in TV and it is a dying medium. But I know that. It's okay. There are still plenty of people who watch TV. Is there any shows that you watch that are still on like the networks I don't know what show. I mean, I don't watch a lot of shows, but
The weather.
nothing.
I like watching Modern Family. And,
Modern Family.
yeah, and Saturday Night Live.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, I like a lot of drama shows because they have
Drama
also like
show-
a twist
see?
at the end.
Okay, now we're watching TV. Okay, what do we have to front about TV for? We still like TV.
Yeah.
Look how excited he was.
Right. At first, it's like he wants to make them feel comfortable, but it's really all about him.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Modern
Yeah.
Family, that is a TV
Yeah,
show.
I know what
right?
that is.
Yes. Wow. We can finally relate on something. So
That word front, just you get Bill no cap Maher. I'm not sure why he's adding this language here.
I don't know why either. He doesn't really talk like this. When he
Also,
has
can we just point
Richard
out the
Dreyfuss
shirt?
on.
This is the shirt that he thinks kids like. He likes the colors. He said the shapes. This is going to make me attractive to a kid. Sometimes he dresses up for a date. Sometimes it's a business interview. This is what he likes to dress for kids.
Yes. I think you're onto something there. He definitely does pick out his attire depending on who he's going to be talking to that day. He's a well thought out guy for sure. I know David's a big Bill Maher fan. He knows.
His opinions too. He's always shooting from the hip, so it's not
Yes.
It's not. There's a lot of forethought. He wakes up in the morning. He says, "How do I feel about my outfit, my politics, my whatever the case is."
I feel stoned about it.
Well,
Right.
the Korean girl goes, I like dramas. And he's like, oh, great. What do you watch? Like Grey's Anatomy? What are we talking about? And she watches K-dramas. I guess there's a whole streaming network just for Asian people. And she just watches Korean shows and Japanese shows. And he's like, oh, that's not TV. I wanted to talk about TV. That's not TV at all.
You
damn it.
shut up. I'm going to talk to the other one.
So more TV talk and TV shows.
Okay, all right. So watch a little Grey's Anatomy. Would it kill you? Watch Scandal. That was a great show. Remember that one with Kerry Washington? You'd like that one.
Remember that
Strong
one?
woman shows, right?
Great point.
Yeah, I don't know what he's trying to accomplish with this. Remember Scandal? Like if I had Bill Maher on my show, and I'm like, remember when Dominic Hasek was the best player in the NHL and the Sabres went on that Stanley Cup run? Remember that, Bill? Oh, you don't? Yeah, because you don't give a shit about that. Why are we talking about it? What's he doing? I don't understand. So then this other girl who's a Modern Family fan explains what Modern Family is because Bill's not familiar with it.
A very young wife and a very old husband with a kid.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. Played by Sofia Vergara for the young.
Oh, Sophia Viagra, she's hot, huh? So
They're laughing like
I don't know who
crazy.
those people are.
He doesn't know Sofia Vergara? How's that possible?
Dude, how is that possible?
That's so weird.
I am well versed in her.
I would think Bill would be too. She's
Maybe-
probably too old.
she's
for
too
it.
old, yeah.
Yeah, but still. That's a little bit shocking. Sophia Viagra. That's a great Viagra joke, too, for the kids.
That was for the people in the back of the room, it sounded like.
I guess so. But he did perk up when she's like, old guy with a young wife. He's like, yeah, okay. I can relate to this show. So
Yeah,
then,
how about that 19-year-old sister?
you're right. I'm surprised he didn't get her number before she left. Now, Bill starts showing off his amazing knowledge of human migration. I guess Bill was a history major in college. And so he starts schooling these young ladies.
Now he's history.
And you know who the first people were?
He was a history major, and now he's just history.
And you know who the first people were in Alaska? They were Asian. That's why they still look Asian, the indigenous people there. They came over from Asia. They went all the way through Russia, and there's a part called the Bering Strait.
I was going to say the
where
Bering
it's just
Strait,
a
Bill?
very
Okay.
narrow waterway that separates Asia from where North America starts, at the very northern part of Canada and Alaska.
Look how polite they're being.
I can see I'm losing the crowd.
You're laughing.
Don't you think that's kind of interesting that humans came all the way across Asia, and then that's how we got into North America?
Yeah.
That's why Indians look Asiatic. And then they went all the way down into South America.
I'm kind of learning a little bit.
Yeah.
there.
I wasn't prepared for this.
Yeah, it's like, what are we talking about here, Bill? They don't care about this. Again, I don't understand what the point is. I don't know what he's trying to accomplish with this show.
I know that Bill does very well for himself when it comes to smashing puss.
Sure.
But this looks like what it would be like watching a date go wrong with Bill,
Yeah.
where he is losing the crowd,
Yeah.
It's like, you're Asian. Here's some Asian facts.
He's digging into his history lessons, right?
Do you think when he goes out with...
Is
Go ahead.
Asianic a word? That almost sounds like it's something that we've kind of retired decades ago.
That's a very good point. I've not heard anyone else say that, so it's possible. They were Oriental, all right? Let's put it that way.
sure.
A bunch of
Right.
Orientals came over, and now they're Eskimos. So I imagine that Bill, when he's out on a date with a young lady, talks about whether or not she watches TV. I think a lot of this is the same script that he has from a dinner date.
That's what I'm gleaning from this.
Yes. And
Well, you remember, when I was on your show previously, we talked about Seth Maher?
Seth Meyers, yeah.
Seth Meyers, and I'm infamously terrible with names, but Seth Meyer, he said that, he kept insisting, oh, you don't watch my show? Don't you watch my show? He's always fishing for, you watch my show, right? Even the kids.
Thanks a lot, Carl.
Yes. He definitely wants to know if people are watching his show on Max. He's very proud of it. And then they get into what are these kids doing on the internet? And of course, Bill has to start referencing porn and shit like that, which is weird.
You're on the internet. Your Wikipedia goes from one side to the next. What if it leads you to some place where you don't think you should probably be? Because I hear from parents, not that I'm one, but I hear they're very worried about what their kids are seeing on the internet.
I don't think I go on bad websites or
But
anything.
you could, right?
Yeah, if it takes me to one, I just exit.
Would you like
it
to see
because
one?
There's nothing
Jesus.
that.
Well, I mean, say you're interested in like climate change, so you start looking on that. That's a big issue. I mean, your kids are worried about it for a good reason. Okay, climate. It leads you to weather. Then you're looking up stuff
Right.
about the weather. Then it leads you to Stormy Daniels. All right, now you're into porn.
Jesus.
What an asshole.
What an asshole. He's got to talk about porn with 8-year-old girls.
Clearly, you don't get my point. Let me spell it out for you.
I can't believe that's where his head went, to talk about Stormy Daniels with
And
these
I-
young women.
I thought I was hoping earlier they were talking about Wikipedia, because that's what this gets into. Maybe it mentioned the Hitler game. That's a little, when it comes to Wikipedia, you're not going to end up on pornography from looking down Wikipedia articles.
I know that was such a stretch. Like, he goes, what websites do you kids enjoy besides XTube and Pornhub? And so girl goes, oh, I go on Wikipedia. And, you know, you can go down a rabbit hole. Girl doesn't say this, but basically what she's saying. And yeah, Bill turns it into, yeah, but if you click one of those links, you never know. You're going to be watching double penetration. and then they cut it off before the cum shot. You kids know what I'm talking about, right? Then you got to go find the original video. Next thing you know, you're paying $20 a month for a service. It's like, what are we talking about, Bill? Why did you go there with this?
Bill's the devil on my shoulder.
He's bored if he's not aroused.
Right. Yes, he definitely gets bored easily. That's why he shouldn't be talking to children in the first place. But let's get into more trans talk. Bill's going to talk to all these kids about being trans.
Like, maybe I want to be in a blah, blah, blah when I grow up. Maybe, like, in 5 years, it's going to be something completely different.
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of what they teach you kids these days, is you might be completely different in a year or two. You might not even be a girl, huh? Let's always leave that door open.
And that was the cold open that you used on this show, where the kids are like, ugh.
Yeah, it's not as funny as I thought.
Yeah, like, what are you talking about? What a creep. Mom, the man just said I might not be a girl in a couple of years. What? Should I talk to him ever again? No.
I'm certain the next words that they said were, "Can I go now?"
Yes, I know. They were so uncomfortable right there. But you know what? Let me back up, because earlier in this interview, Bill does get a great joke off, because Bill is a clever comedian.
What kind
really
of music do they play in Korea? Soul?
You know, like
Get it?
hip-hop?
Soul music? Because, again, the capital.
Soul.
This dude is fucking corny.
Jesus, Bill. So bad. All right. So then we bring on these two teenagers who are both Jewish and going to private Jewish schools. And Bill, let's bring up Hamas. Let's get that going with this Bill Talks to Kids show.
We learn Hebrew, but we also learn like Jewish history. I have a class about that, and
Yeah, I don't think it's the Jews who have to learn the Jewish history. You might want to tell it to the college kids these days, because these morons are out there
they don't know.
protesting for Hamas. But let's not get you kids involved in controversial subjects like that.
I would have loved if the kids like, no, let's talk about this. It's October 7th. Let's go. What are we doing? Oh, wow. One more clip I have out here, because, again, Bill, history major. One of the kids brings up they enjoy history class or something, or they might major in it. So Bill's like, oh, sweet.
Big mistake, kid.
Yeah, I know. I get to school you guys.
Do you really enjoy history? I'll make you regret it.
Yep, here we go.
I still remember it.
Hunter-gatherers, yeah. And when did the hunter-gathering stop? Have you learned that?
Yeah, when they started planning food and had like a social hierarchy basically, and like set rules up. And
This was called the Agricultural Revolution. Around when was this?
I don't remember that.
But that's
Loser.
important.
Yeah.
About 10,000 BC.
Okay.
So only about 12,000 years ago did people settle down. And once they did, once they settled down, everything changed.
That's boring. You're boring, everybody. Quit boring everyone.
And then what happened, Bill? And then what? I didn't understand this. The conversations he had with all three sets of children were awkward and bizarre and really didn't accomplish anything.
He insists that he doesn't know. I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. He insists he doesn't hate children, though.
Right.
My mother was sending me clips of old episodes saying, no, he says right here at this timestamp he hates children, he hates kids, and then he tells, he says, no, this was started by a rumor that a kid that I knocked into the gutter with my car door.
Right. Yes.
It was a
So
great joke.
it's almost like this is a PR stunt or something. They're like, Bill, you're starting to look a little bit out of touch, and you say you don't like kids, and so you're not doing really well in this demo and that demo.
Does Bill have a wheel of consequences?
Maybe that's what it is. Maybe he lost the last round of Club Random, and he had to spin the wheel of consequences, because none of that seemed to make any sense. What are your takeaways from it, David? Anything else?
Well, it's a little late if it's, trying to a PR move of some sort. I think it was 2009 or something when he was in some heat. When there was these college girls, they all ganged up and beat up another girl, and it resulted in serious injuries. And then he went on his show that Friday and said, "Hey, kids would be kids. You should have seen what we were doing when I was in college." And he seemed pretty out of touch right then. And that's 15 years ago.
Yeah, it's not great. It's not a great look right there. Yeah, so he's 15 years too late to try to right the wrongs of the past. No one's buying it. I'm not sitting here. There's not going to be a bunch of Midwestern housewives who are now tuning in to his political show on Max because, he talks to children. All right, cool. I can watch this guy now. Sounds good.
Who are these podcasts? WA